Right, so some of you guys might be wondering when we could see the next MacBook Pro refresh. And well, it might not be in 2022 according to this new report, and so let's delve into it. But first, make sure to like and subscribe for the latest Apple news and rumours. And with that being said, let's just tuck in. Right, so this report's coming from the Commercial Times, a relatively new source that has no such credibility, so do take this with a grain of salt. Right, so they believe we're going to see the next M2 Max and M2 Pro chips land in the first half of 2023. So it seems that much like most iPads, the MacBooks are also going to stick to an 18-month refresh cycle. And to be honest, I'm a little unsure about this. On one hand, I know the M1 Max and the M1 Pro chips are very powerful and should be more than enough for many consumers for a very long time. But of course, at the same time, one big issue with the MacBook range is that you're never sure exactly when to buy a new MacBook, since of course, unlike the iPhone, they don't have a consistent release schedule. Now of course, back in the Intel days, this was Intel's fault. Apple was waiting on Intel to release their new chips, and so as a result, the release dates of these Macs were completely scattered. But of course, I was hoping that with the introduction of Apple Silicon, the release schedule would be a little more consistent, and it would be easier to understand for consumers exactly when to buy a new MacBook. And so yes, in that aspect, I'm not looking forward to this 18-month refresh cycle. I think it's better to have a yearly refresh cycle so that consumers can of course know that October is the best time to buy a new MacBook. And of course, do remember these refreshes are going to be pretty simple from now on because Apple gave us the big redesign this year, and of course, this design is going to stick around for a few more years, and so all Apple has to do is of course remove the M1 Max and put the M2 Max in this MacBook instead. That's pretty straightforward, and so yes, I do think Apple should give us yearly refresh cycles. Though of course the chip shortage is a problem many companies are facing right now, so maybe that's a reason the Commercial Times believes we're going to see an 18-month refresh cycle. Anyways, coming to the M2 Max and the M2 Pro chips, these surprisingly are going to be based on the A16 cores, not A15 cores like previous rumors had suggested, and so as a result, this chip is going to be based on the 4nm process. And of course, the lower the nanometer, the better the performance, and of course, the better the efficiency. So this is a pretty nice improvement over the A15 cores we were expecting to get. And by the way guys, in case you're wondering, the codename for the M2 Max and also the M2 Pro chip is Rhodes. Anyways guys, tell me which upgrades you want to see with the next MacBook Pros. Anyways, thank you for watching guys, make sure to like and subscribe for the latest Apple news and rumours. Check out the video in the card above on details regarding the M2 iPad Pros, and on that note, I'll see you guys in the next one. See ya peeps!